about subtracting mixed numbers. So subtracting mixed numbers now. And let's just review. So I am on page 451. Get on page 451. There's a big open spot right little so you can fill in all the information I'm going to give you today. Let's practice converting improper fraction into a mixed number a couple of times to warm up, okay? We have 11 divided by 2. Okay, all pencils are up and writing. 11 divided by 2, so this is improper. It's improper because the numerator is larger than the denominator. My first step is to make a division table, and I take 2 and I divide it into 11. We're going to skip count together. Ready? Go. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Stop. I'm finding 11. 11 is somewhere here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 multiples down. 2 times 5 is 10. I subtract and get the difference. Remainder 1. And I will erase this. Okay? Okay, don't forget that the 5 is my whole number. The remainder is here. Here's my remainder. And my denominator is always 2. You have to memorize that pattern. You just have to memorize it. You can't mix it up. You just have to practice, practice, practice so you don't change, so you don't mess any of these up. Okay? That information is what I take to get my mixed number. All right, let's do one more for a little warm up. 25 fourths. Okay, go ahead. I will make a division table for 25ths. Let's skip count by 4s. 4, 8. That's not all of you. Start again. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's after 24? 28. 28. I heard 36. I don't know. All right. 25 is somewhere here. So I'm going to count down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 multiples. 4 times 5 is 20. I'm going to take away the difference, and I got 5. That doesn't work because 5 is still greater than 4. So I needed to go down one more. So I will go 4, it goes into 5. Well, that would be remainder 5. I messed that up, didn't I? Yeah. So what do I do? How do I fix that? Because I can't have a remainder that's greater than 4. So I need to go one more step higher. Danica?
You have to, since 4 only goes into 5 one time, you add, you do the 5 into 6.
So do you want me to erase?
Yeah, you can.
Or what else can I do?
Or you can.
Because this happens a lot when I see your papers come in. What else can I do?
Or you can like make another box.
Okay, so I'm going to erase the remainder 5 because my remainder has to be smaller than this 4. Okay, so I'm going to draw it back up and make another box using area model. And I would put the 5 there. 4 goes into 5 one time. 4 times 1 is 4. I take away the difference, and now I got a remainder 1. So 5 plus 1 is a 6. Remainder 1. So I have 6. Remainder 1 is my answer. Now I have to take this information and make it into a mixed number. So I have this data. This is good. And I have to make sure I have my denominator. So the answer would be 6 and 1/4. 4th would be my mixed number. Okay? All right, I'm going to remind you how to check how to make a mixed number back into an improper fraction. And this was a secret I taught you last week. We talked about it for a minute. I take and I circle this information right here, these two numbers, right? I circle them, and I times them together. 6 times 4 is what, Brooklyn? 24. And I put a little 24 right here, and then I draw an arrow, and I make it kind of into a plus sign, okay? 4 plus 1 is equal to what, Daxton?
5.
24 plus 1? 25. I wrote the wrong thing. 24 plus 1 is 25, he said, and my denominator has to be what number, Bridger?
It has to be the same number as before.
Okay, 25 fourths, is that what I started with?
Yes.
So I can check to make sure that when I went from an improper fraction to a mixed number back to an improper fraction, if they all are the same, I did it right. Okay? All right. We are going to go on to the story problem now. It says, this is a subtracting mixed number story problem. And it says, Ursula picks carrots and radishes from her garden. She picks 4 and a quarter pounds of carrots. I'm going to call these carrots. And 1 and 3/4 pounds of radishes. Delicious. How many more pounds of carrots did she pick than radishes? What is that math solution? How many more? What is it asking me to do? What's the action I'm doing, Hannah?
4 and 1/4.
Whoa. Okay, wait. What is the word how many more?
Subtracting.
Subtracting. So how many more means the exact same thing as subtracting, okay? It's just a story problem. And people don't walk around and say, I bought 4 1/4 pounds of carrots and I'm going to subtract 1 3/4 pounds of my radishes. Is that how your mom talks when she talks to you about her garden outside? No. She says words like, hey, how many more carrots did you bring in than radishes today? Right? That's how we talk. So we're getting used to using story problems and talking in like story problem form instead of math terms like 4 1/4 subtract 1 3/4. So we're getting better at this. All right, now I know how many more pounds of carrots does she pick than radishes. Hannah says they're asking me to subtract to find the answer. Okay, I can see that first off, I have whole numbers, 4 and 1, and I know that 4 take away 1 makes 3. That works. So if I just went ahead and did that step, I'd be okay. But the problem is, I have this 1 and a 3 right here, and it is not okay. It is not okay to have 1 carrot and try and take away 3 out of it. That's impossible. It's like 1 M&M, and I'm going to go get 3 M&Ms from you, and you're like, I only have 1. I don't know what to do. Okay? So we have to regroup. So I have 4 wholes, and 4 wholes is actually, so we're going to decompose this down. 4 wholes is the same thing as writing 4 in fractions. So I would write, I'm going to decompose this down, and I'm going to get 4 fractions that equal 4 wholes. Who knows how to make those fractions? Boston. How do I do this? How do I take this 4 and make it into 4 fractions? And I know, because we keep saying, how much is 1 whole equivalent to?
You put 1/4 4 times, and then you add all those, which equals 1.
No, but we're regrouping though, because we're subtracting. So we're not adding. We have to do that very first step. So we have to go and like regroup. Taylor, tell me what one whole is equal to.
4/4.
4/4. Okay, and have 4 now. So what would I make this fraction? 4 fours. What about this one?
4 4.
What about this one?
4 4.
What about this one?
4 4.
And this is equal to, 4 fourths is equal to 1. So isn't this just 1? And here, let's do 1 and another 1 and another 1 and another 1. These are all 1s, right? 1 is equal to 4 fours. So now I have 4 equals 1, 2, 3, 4 equals the 4. Do you agree? Riker, can you see that? That these 4 fractions, when I add them together, actually equal 4. Yeah? Okay? Now you guys have to really, really pay attention on this one. This one will trick you every time. I need to take the 4 fourths and I need to regroup so that I can pull out the radishes. So I'm going to just go and say I have 3. I'm going to say that I have 3 and let's do, okay, I need to go. I have 4 fourths and I'm going to regroup and make it 3 plus 4 fourths plus the 1 fourth. Because 3 plus 1, because you said this is worth 1 whole, right? You said that. You agree? And then I still have this 1 fourth up here I can't forget about. I can't forget about that. So 3 plus 1 plus a quarter is the same thing as 4 1/4. Yeah? Jackson? Yeah? So 3 plus 1 is 4 plus a quarter is a fourth. And that's what my story problem is right here. Okay, now with all of that information, I am going to go backwards right here. Okay? And I have 3 plus 1 plus a quarter is equal to 4 fourths. 4 and 1 fourth, I meant. Okay? And I'm going to make this back into its little fraction, which is 4 fourths. Okay? And you told me that we've been practicing adding subtractions all week. So I have 3 wholes, and then how do I add these fractions together? Bridger, do you know?
Yes, you.
What is it?
You put a line in the middle, then put a 4 at the bottom.
Uh-huh, good.
And then you add another hole because one of them has a hole.
No, we already did that. We added the 3. I got the 3 out. I have this other step left. What do I do with the numerator?
You put 1 at the top.
Plus 4 plus 1 equals 5 fourths. Do you get that?
Yes.
So I just basically regrouped to make this fraction larger so I could take away the difference. So now, if I go 3 and 5 fourths, and I subtract 1 and 3 fourths, I can do this really easy now because 3 minus 1 is worth what, Riley?
So 3
Minus 1.
minus 1 equals 2.
And so I already solved these. I'm just going to scratch them out. Now I have this fraction to figure out, and I'm going to subtract the fraction. So what do I make the denominator?
A 4.
A 4. And 5 minus 3 is what?
2.
So 2 and 2 fourths is the answer for how many more carrots I have available than radishes. Good stop.